This is Get Inspired with Dr. Barb show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Get Inspired with Dr. Barb. This is a special podcast because on this podcast, I am honored to chat with many incredible people. Some of them are currently in the classrooms doing something innovative, contributing to the change in innovation. Some are in the classroom in a different role as still a student, which is very interesting. And we're going to have such a young contributor to the field of education today, and his mom, who is not in the classroom either, but she has a lot to say about education and sees from the perspective of a parent. And today is also very special because our guests are my friends. We also collaborate with each other, which is very interesting. I think we got to know each other on LinkedIn. And they also joining us from Saudi Arabia. So that's a distance, but the technology is making it possible. So it's a really very special episode. And I would like to welcome them. My friend and collaborator, Ambreen, and her son, young author, Zoraib. Welcome to the show, Get Inspired with Dr. Barb.
Yeah, thank you so much, Barbara. Thank you. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here. And as you say that, yes, we are more than collaborator. We are more friends. I mean, it's so nice to actually get connected through LinkedIn, like across the um, across the globe, and it's
Yeah.
say the distance doesn't matter, and it's really
Mhm.
nice to work with people who are like-minded, who are aligned with values. So it's really, really good to know you as a person and to collaborate with you as a professor. So thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I would like to briefly introduce you, and then I would like to invite you to add something to the introduction because you are doing so much. Breen, you are a psychologist. You are also co-founder of multiple projects, Save Lives projects, in which I participated too, and I'm in it. It's a very interesting and very important project. You are also co-founding another initiative, Impact Activators. You are studying Ph.D. in neuroscience. You are very active on social media, on LinkedIn. You've been named so many times of one of the most influential, inspirational figures on LinkedIn. And I think you stand out more than anyone, to be honest with you. You should be number one. You should be there all the way on top because it's just really special for many reasons. There's a lot of layers to this, and it's not easy for you to stand out like that either. And we have Zoraib, who is your son, but he's a young author, also contributes already as far as writing articles. And this is really amazing because this is not just, Zoraib is not just writing, didn't just write any book, but it's quite a book. It's a new voice in terms of education. The book is called The Curious Giraffe, and it's really an important voice in the area of how education, why education should be different, why what drives education and learning should be passion and interests and curiosity and what's good about it, right? This book really speaks loudly about that. So this is an amazing and very innovative voice in the area of education, I have to say. And also you are writing articles. You are very young. How old are you, Zora, if you can tell us, tell our audience?
I'm currently 10 years old.
10 years old. And you wrote that book when you were 9, I think, right?
Yeah,
Actually, he was 8 when he wrote, but then he published the book when he was 9.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
because it's a process. Even for you, writing the book was a process. It always
absolutely.
is. But I would like both of you add something to this introduction. What else you would like to audience to know?
Okay, I will start and then I will let Zoraib speak about it. So, thank you for the introduction about me. Yes, I'm the psychologist, and now I've taken multiple initiatives, especially the Impact Activator, and we collaborated with impact activator, especially because your voice in bringing innovation in education is really, really unique and inspiring. So that was a great collaboration. And yeah, recently I've started my another journey of doctoral program. So yes, I've started it to study more in terms of neurosciences and especially in
Hmm.
leadership. So that's it. But about him is he is a young author and he has great vision and great ambition, and that's I'm just helping him to achieve his
Yeah.
mission and so so I'm gonna just ask Zoraib now. Zoraib, you tell.
Yes, say something more about yourself, what you think it's important for you. And also, you could just say more about why you even wrote the book. That is very interesting.
Yeah. So why you wrote the book?
Uh, my main reason was basically it killed curiosity and made you not want to learn. And like, there's tons of knowledge that you like will want to learn once you understand like the how deep it goes. But then but then like when you but then you connect that to school, and then you think it's boring just because of that. And then the second part is that I generally just do not like school.
That's what we want to hear. That's why you don't like.
So take us to that moment, Zara, when you had those thoughts, school is boring, I don't like school. And then what happened? Just an idea about writing the book popped into your head? Like what happened?
Yeah.
So I think like once I was complaining about school, and then like she pointed out that like if since she's an author,
Yeah.
it would be very amazing if I also became an author. And then it would be like you'd also help me express my feelings about school and also help change it. So that just happened.
Yeah.
So then we started thinking about it more until it eventually happened, I guess.
Yeah, it's not actually he's been so humble in saying that then once he was basically it's all the time that he actually does that. It's bad and he doesn't want to go to school. And when it happens that especially at the time of going to school, he start giving me he still does it. So I'm using the present tense. So he actually starts giving me a lot of reasons that how school is bad, and
Yeah.
that's what thing that um initially I used to ignore this that because I considering that every kid doesn't like it, like no matter whom you
Hmm.
that do they like to go to school. There is always a struggle with a parent and a kid that they have to go to school. They have to make them realize
Yeah.
that how good a school is. Inherently, they don't like school. So that was the case with him also. But what I noticed with him is that he's been so consistent and he's been trying to actually convince me through different like finding the researches, and you can share that what are the reasons that what you used to share that why school is bad, and then I can take it. Yesterday he had this event to this what you call uh you used to tell me that how the Ronaldo is doing this and how the Elon Musk is doing this, and he always comes up and you always
How
say
do
that,
you remember this?
oh my God.
She's your mom. She remembers everything.
You can tell about it.
So basically, school is trying to make you be like the most like help you into the most common type of category, like not the best. Like, and there was like 0% of rich people are like employees and stuff, and school is only preparing you for being an employee because that's what they'll most likely be. They
Mhm.
and they don't have like much eh, like it's generally just time inefficient.
Yes.
Like it. I think I'm a fast learner, so I just don't listen to a teacher for like a while,
Yeah.
and then like once I realize I don't once I realize it, I'm like they just ask a question and they just wonder how I get it right.
Yeah, and then this happens all the times with him that the thing is that what he complains most about is that the teacher repeats so many times that once
Mhm.
he learns it, so they spend a lot of time when he moves on to the other topic, and that becomes boring for him. And then what he also doesn't like is that the way they teach, it's basically, he always says that, that he can learn better through internet, through
Hmm.
YouTube videos, through other things, even like reading books. But then the way they teach, first of all, as we were saying, this time inefficient means that teachers spend a lot of time on one thing, and he says that he can achieve so much more than what teachers are spending so much time on one topic. The other thing that he also wrote in the book, that he has always this passion to learn more about it, right? Especially about like the space and about, let's say, the facts about life, which teachers don't tell. Right? You can tell a bit more about it, that what kind of facts that teachers don't tell, especially about life and about space or about
Yeah. What
time.
is it that they don't tell and you would
Yeah.
like teachers to
True.
tell? This
Yeah.
is a very, I was going to ask you that question, your ideas. You are a young author. You obviously thought quite a bit about education and you're very vocal about it. So we understand what's wrong. It's teaching in a standardized ways. Teaching to everybody learns the same way and the same speed, following a certain way of teaching, and it's not much room allowed for curiosity for topics that you are interested in to explore and learn about. So we hear it. This is a problem that's widespread, and it's happening in the United States too. It's the
Yeah.
same exactly problem. So what you see, Zoraib, and your mom and brain, it's not something that only happens in Saudi where you live.
Yeah.
This is happening everywhere. So that's why your voice is so important. So what would you like to see or hear from the teacher instead of what you already heard and it really didn't do anything?
Why you think that the teachers, I mean, are teaching in a boring way, or how you think that they can teach in a different way? So,
Yeah, what would you like to see?
Like, okay, right, so teachers themselves use videos, like sometimes, like if they just did that, but like an interesting video, because they try to, most of them are not in my favor, but depends, and then like just quiz them on that, I bet. Also, I think that tests and exams should be like replaced with like small tests and exams, like 10% of your grade tests, because then there wouldn't be too much stress. Like if I fail this, then I still have many more chance at redemption.
Yeah.
Like that. Also, in my grade, I think that the teachers kind of teach common sense.
okay. Yeah.
There's one kind of interesting topic. The the interesting part, they just said in like one word.
Oh.
It's not really explained that.
Zoraib, I mean, you are giving us some golden nuggets. Let me just kind of summarize quickly from what I hear you. So, number one, then, it seems like even when there is an interesting video that the teacher is showing, you don't have a chance to use this video to build your knowledge, maybe further your curiosity, maybe look for other videos who kind of connect to this one. In that way, you're learning more and maybe even learning with other people around you, right? There's people around you, other students. You could guys learn together. Instead, they use this video as some kind of content and they quiz you on it. They just want to know, all right, what did you get from this video? And that's it, but it doesn't have any application to building knowledge, solving problems. And what you said earlier, they teach in a way that prepares you to be an employee. Whereas we know from all these people like Musk and other ones
Ugh.
that they learned, that they got where they are in a totally different way. And
Yeah.
none of this was taught in school. They got where they are through curiosity, failures. They were trying different things and failing millions times more than any average person, really. they have a totally different understanding what means to fail. It's not a failure to them. It's just, I'm just learning from what didn't work out, and I can use it to learn even more and advance, try something new. And that is what the school is not teaching at all. And the test you're saying about redemption, that goes with this idea of, oh, wait a minute, you made a mistake, you got scored badly on the test. What does it mean? I mean, don't you learn something from this a little bit and you try and you do better? So the school is not really teaching a good approach to mistakes, obstacles, failure, and how to learn from this. If anything, it's the opposite. And I'll tell you a story. Recently, I had a conversation with my own child, and I asked them something about something happened in the personal life, and I asked, "Well, what lesson did you learn from this?" And my child like froze and said that I'm stupid. I'm like, that's what you learn to guilt yourself and shame yourself? And Kalina told me more. That's what the school told me. And I was shocked, but it really made me realize what implicitly and sometimes explicitly schools, teachers, not all, because there are some amazing teachers, and we have to say it, teach, and it stays with you all your life. And now I have to redo this. I have to like rewind it, unteach it, and make my kid unlearn it. And they like, really, that's what you mean? I'm not supposed to guilt myself? I think all my life from school that learning the lesson means you are dumb and you better don't do it again. You better do it right.
Yeah. That's exactly what basically I agree with you, and that's what exactly we had this conversation with actually also with Zoraib, that when he talks about this exam system, he is so much against it because he knows that how much pressure it puts on the student to memorize the facts instead of learning that, because he always says that, why am I doing this? Actually, the thing is, I tell you that how the process begins of writing this book, because this is very important that other people should know, especially kids should know, that how they should have this confidence to get their voice out, because most of the time, as you mentioned, that society or school actually doesn't appreciate the creativity, and
Yeah.
lot of students actually curb or snub their creativity just to fit in the box. And I tell you that how it started. So basically what used to happen was that the rape used to doesn't like the school. I mean, it still doesn't like the school, and he used to come and say that he doesn't like it, and that's the reason. And we usually have the conversation, and I'm the kind of mother who actually just doesn't try to say that go and it isn't. And we try to have this kind of a discussion and all this. He was actually got really inspired when he got to know that I published the book, and he used to say that I want to be an author like you one day, and said, okay, that is one thing that is very, I mean, to me also very satisfying, that when your kids are saying that they want to be like me. So anyways, we used to have this kind of the conversation, and one day he basically, what led us to actually write this book is that he wrote a story, very good, powerful story. In my sense, it was because it was kind of a bit, has a philosophical touch to it. And he said, and when he told me, he said, "Oh wow, you create," and I told him that, "Oh, you created very good story," and we were expecting that he will get the good marks, but he got a very bad marks. And then he said that, "See, mom, that's what I used. I tell you that teachers don't understand my perspective, and when I even appreciated, he didn't get the good marks." And I said, "Okay." And we had this conversation, and we got the idea. And so I told him that, okay, since you want to be an author, then why not write a book now instead of waiting like me, that I waited 20 years, and you don't have to wait 20 years.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And he kind of liked this idea, and then
Yeah.
we started working on it. And to be honest, I was also a bit nervous that, because I don't see young authors around this. And I got in touch with some of the like people who helped me in writing my book, and I got a very good kind of a support from them. I said like, no, you should write it. And then we started this project, and I learned from this project a lot that, the creative writing, like the kids are really, really smart and creative. It's just a
Hmm.
matter of channeling their energy to the right direction. And that's what happened. And when we used to discuss that, okay, like i- it's all his idea, right? I was just there to guide him that, okay, when what can be done more about it? And then his
Right.
ideas, I mean, his mind, like, it starts working amazingly. I just tell you one example that, when he was in the school, he got this assignment that, like before writing this book, he got this assignment about the creative writing. I was very happy that, okay, school is teaching creative writing. And I said, okay, they said that you got they gave the prompt for the story writing, that imagine that you get a magical egg, and you have to write a story that what would you do with the magical egg. and and when I asked him, and he said, it was quite lame though. He said that, okay, I will crack the egg, try it and eat. It was so funny. And it
That
was
is
not
funny.
only his response. When I spoke to the other mothers, their kids almost have the same. I said, like, creative writing doesn't mean that you do the same thing. You have to open your mind and start imagining the things what
Hmm.
cannot even think of this, all the,
Yeah.
and imagine, and believe me, when I started doing this and his mind opened up and he gave so many creative ideas. They say, oh, we can do
Right.
this, we can do this. It's not just that, kids are dumb. It's just a matter of, how you use them, how you just help them use their imagination, creativity. And that's what exactly I love this project of helping him write the book, because I learned so much that how we
Yeah.
can actually guide them. We used to create a mind map, and we used to create that how the story can go further. And he used to do all the work himself. He used to write, he used to go search on the Google to do more. He used
Yeah.
all the, and he was the first one to actually tell me that how to use AI. Like, he was the one, he created my account on Chat GPT, said, Mom, this is how and so, I mean, believe, like, I even
That's
learned from
awesome.
him the all tech things and something that how we can use, or how we can use these
Hmm.
technology efficiently. So it was amazing to, as a mother, and as I would just say the
Yeah.
guide, how we see kids these days. They are very smart, and they are, I think, they are going much at a much faster pace than we realize. And in
They
order
do.
to catch up with the pace, we need to work with them as ally, as not as kind of, the command and things, like, you just have to command them that do this, do this. It doesn't happen like this. You need to work with them to find out that what interested them the more, how they need to learn. And when we do this, only then we can, bring about the change in the system, and
I love
do more.
that because you are touching on something very important. That's really the heart of responsive teaching. It's
Yeah.
you take ideas and you speak with children
Yes.
and you see what they're about, what they're passionate about. That's where it should really start. And then you, as a teacher, you are more like a facilitator. You still teach. This doesn't mean that they just on their own. You still have a lot of actually roles
Yes.
and guidance to figure it out, how to help them work together, how to help them publish even a book. So there's
Yes.
a lot of actually work that's required on a teacher who facilitates learning in this different way. But there is really no excuse for the teachers not to do it because we have research, we have these types of models of teaching and learning out there. They've been showing a lot of effectiveness and children's empowerment and teachers for years. So it's not like this is not existing and everybody has to create it from scratch. That is why we have to say openly there is really no excuse for teachers not to do it. But now let me ask you that. How would you imagine, let's say, because this was an amazing project, writing a book at the age of 8, 9 years old, right? As your mom said, Zoraib, this could be a way of children contributing to the change in education. We believe more and more that the change in education will come from people who are in education, kids, actors, right? You had an actor who was participating in this daily, and their parents, and of course, teachers. But it's not just teachers, it's kids and parents. So finding these voices and having children, helping them publishing a book, and it doesn't have to be a book, it can be an article, and you're doing that too. Maybe even can be starting a podcast with their parent in which they talk about education. They talk about what learning they would like to see. Right now, there's so many different ways everybody can get out there and speak their mind, right? What they don't like, what they would like to see change. So, what would be your advice from both of you for a kid who is, who hates the school and doesn't like it, right? Nothing new. And in finding an outlet, finding a way of expressing themselves instead of just, bottling up that resentment, right? We know that after a while it's not good. You have to find some kind of outlet. Speak up, use your voice. So, what would be your advice for the child? And what would be advice for a parent who can facilitate this? What parent can do? And then also, what would you advise for teachers? That's
Okay.
kind of tough and triple, but
Yeah.
we have to crack it.
So, what do you think, Zoraib? What do that how kids can use their voice, how teachers can help them, and how parents can help them?
The issue is with the children's voice, it's not like you just say it. Nobody will listen to you then. You have to do something. You have to have a lot more will power to be able to do something special that nobody else would do. So people will say yes, and and then the teachers, they should encourage that. Like they should
Yep.
say they should allow this.
Yeah, encourage them. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
parents.
parents should be less strict on schooling,
Yeah,
and also like guide them like when they need to like need help in anything.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I love that. Yes.
yeah, I will share my perspective on that. It's basically, which actually I kind of amplify what he said, or maybe
Yeah.
I emphasize more what he said. It's basically what he says is that the kids need to be more adamant on what they're saying. That's whatever. It's also one thing that I always actually also tell them that you need to be something different what others might not be doing, because otherwise
Hmm.
nobody will listen to you. Because and that is the reason why that he wrote the book, because when I asked him that, okay, you hate school, so what would you do to stand out, right? And this is the thing that came out, that maybe he can write a book or something. And since he is so young, so that is something that makes a kind of a noise, or will actually stand
Yeah.
out, right? So something different, that's what he wanted to do. The other thing is also, especially for parents, because as a parent, I know that we tend to disregard kids' lots of complaints, like saying that, okay, this is quite general, right? Everybody does that. But we need to kind of connect with the kids and understand what are they saying, what is the problem, even if it's general or something that we think that it's minor, but what are they coming from, right? What is the root cause of this? So it's
Yeah.
something that we need to connect more as a parent with the kids and help them, even if they have the big mission to this. I mean, changing an education system, if he has this mission, which is quite huge, and even when we
Hmm.
discuss it, like, it hasn't changed in like hundreds of years, and
No.
it's for a vision for an 8 year or 9 year old kid is a big or a huge task. But the thing is that you should not discourage them for not following them. Whatever the goal he has, whatever the ambition they have, how big or how small, as a parent, we should just channel their energy and guide them well in a right direction.
Hmm.
And for as a teacher, I would just say that I was having the last, maybe the before last, there was a guest on my podcast also, and he also said that it's not the teachers don't want to have the innovative ways, but the pressure on them is so
Yeah.
much because the curriculum is so tightly packed that they are hardly left with any time to do the research or something, or to do something different. And the entire system is so, I would say, it's non, I would say, appreciative or not encouraging any other way of
Yeah.
teaching, that it is difficult for the teachers for themselves to actually introduce any innovative technique, right? Because one, because first of all, they have the fear that the system would not allow them, because they have the pressure to be on the ranking system, which is again that, then their schools or their colleges need to be on certain ranking system, and
Yeah.
that's why they have this tightly packed curriculum which doesn't leave them any time, which puts the pressure on them, which actually eventually is transferred to the students. So it's basically the way that, for teachers is to have a different, I mean, maybe they need to take out some time to see what they can do in their capacity, and then discuss with their, maybe their heads, principals, and then
Yeah.
like it should be, other than that, like for individually also it would be difficult for them to do that. So it's a collective effort that
Hmm.
requires bring about or to drive the meaningful change in the education system.
Exactly. Well, let's say a parent, from what I hear too, the child says, I just hate school, I this and that. So I understand your take is, well, the parent should then encourage the child to channel this frustration, right, in a certain way, healthy way. Certainly, writing the book was that really cool way. But not every parent is an author, so might not be just like, sure, I wrote a book already, so I'm going to help you, right? It's not going to happen like that. Any other, you think, both of you, any other ways parents can sort of help the child, in kind of processing this frustration,
Yeah.
and what else parents can do?
Yeah, I will just tell you that basically it's every kid has certain talent. I mean, it's not, I mean,
Mhm.
right, but there are lots of, like my other two kids, they don't want this, they wouldn't want to write this, but they
Right.
have different talents, right? And they might be good at the arts or something, right? They at even speaking, right? So many things are there. That is something that parent and kids both have to find out together what could be done. And it doesn't have to be a pressure, because whenever, I mean, that I learned from him and from my kids also, that whenever I actually tell them that do they go and play basketball, no, they will not do that.
They won't do that.
It's not their interest, so it's gonna fail. He's very good at chess. I mean, I know, like, chess is something very for me it's kind of a boring, it's kind of very
Yeah.
strict within mine, but he like, I I don't like, to be honest. But if he plays, that's good. That we need to encourage. That is something. Same goes for every parent and every child, that they have at least one skill or something. And we need to find out that what exactly it is. They can have a multiple interest. And one thing that I also, I mean, realize that you start enjoying small things with kids.
Mhm.
Often go to hiking, right? They enjoy hiking. They love to go and explore things. And so when you start doing small things with them, maybe you start painting or you start doing the arts and craft, whatever, like it's up to you, whatever you like. Maybe you go and spend time watching movies only. But even if you go and watch movies, what I also do, that we discuss movies. What do they like? What the lesson they learned? What was the favorite part? What
Mhm.
part they think that it's dumb or something. So I mean, make it's not only just go eat popcorns, watch movie, and come back and forget what happened. It's all about spending a
Yeah.
quality time with your child, and try to understand that what is in their mind and how you can help them, how you can guide them. So whatever it is, it's not just that, every kid has this to write or express their voice or
Yeah.
something. It's just spend a quality time with your child, and not even talk about all the time in school or to something. Just talk fun or even philosophy. I mean, I
Yeah.
discuss each and everything, like all the high philosophical topics
Mm.
with it's, and when you do that, you will be surprised that they actually understand, and then they give you very good answer. Because when I was writing my book, I used to discuss like each and every chapter. I have discussed with them before even writing my book. I mean, before I publishing my book. So I wanted to get their understanding or something. And
Mm.
believe me, I was surprised that by their answers, that how they can do. So all my point is that in whatever your capacity is, try to connect more deeply with your
Mhm.
kid. Not just the surface level, just go to the movie, eat popcorns, come out, go hiking, and then come out. Just even after that, discuss with your child. What do they like? What do they want to, continue or something like this? Yeah.
I love it. And in terms of also, I think this is one thing we did not discuss. I would like to hear though what you think about it. Obviously when parents hear frustrations and all that, and there is also other things sometimes happening. Certain children need more help, more individualized type of learning. Would be your advice as far as how parents should think about reaching out to teachers? Do you maybe there is a way you reach out to teachers that sometimes is successful or effective? What would be your advice for the parents who, parents
Definitely.
need to sometimes approach teachers, right? That's how that
Yeah.
is. Email, phone call, whatever. And do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, a very good question, because I always like to work with teachers, because I always say that like teaching a student is just not a one like teacher's job. It
Yeah.
has to be parents and teacher together. Otherwise, only teacher cannot
Mm-hmm.
be 100% all the time be there to
Yeah.
guide them. It's always has to be both ways. Even I just had a parent teacher meeting in the morning, and we were discussing that how kids can learn better, because unless we give them insights about the kids, they cannot do more. So the one important thing is that you parent must have regular contact with the teachers about
Yeah.
everything. It's not about, and I would just say that it's not only, we must not wait for the parent teacher meeting only. When we see that, okay, that our children are not performing or even performing good, so you just get in touch with the teacher, that any problem or anything that's happening, what do they think?
Mm-hmm.
Because if teachers are saying, because teachers spend a lot of time with our children and they have better insights. As a parent, we see our kids, as the best. Of course, this is the tendency that we tend to believe that, our children are doing the best or everything. But we get to hear that what are the lacking in their from their side, right? And we can work to improve something. It's not something that they have the lacking, or I would just say that how different they are sometimes, especially what I've been seeing these days, because like I'm a psychologist, so a lot of people actually get in touch with me that the neurodiversity is nowadays, I mean, either on the rise, or maybe we are the ones who now seeing that, a lot of
Yeah.
kids are facing these things because they're different. So we need to understand, especially we need to discuss with openly with the teachers, because if the teacher is saying that your child is either not behaving in a right
Right.
way, or maybe are not giving, let's say, attention
Mm-hmm.
us. So we need to, I've seen a lot of parents get, offensive by that maybe the teachers don't know and something like this. So there is a kind of a friction. But we need to find out that, what is going on. As a parent also, we need to be open to see that, okay, how we can help her. Because main goal is to bring out the best in our child, not just to have like you and me approach that, okay, no, I think your teaching style is bad, or maybe our kid is, or some parents either just start blaming on the kids that, why you're not doing on in the class.
Yes.
the trio has to be all together. No one can do it alone. Like, it's if the teacher is saying that your kid is not doing good in the class, as a parent, I need to know why. What is the reason? And
Yes.
then again,
Hmm.
I cannot do it on my own. I will go back to my kids and see, okay, what problem do they say? And if they are saying that, okay, maybe the teachers are unable to have their attention or something, we need to go back again that, okay, your system is, you are not teaching there. And but then again, if they're
Yeah.
saying that your teacher, despite all the efforts, is not doing this, that means there is something missing. So we need to find, to me, like, it's kind of a puzzle that we need to solve together. It
It
cannot.
totally is. I mean, there is a reason why the child is not learning, not showing interests, avoids even learning, or, right? There are reasons for that. So, what you're saying is just looking for the reasons together and joining forces together in solving the problem. And parents know a lot of information about the child. We know
Yeah.
why, right? The parent just knows the child very well. So this is a very valuable information that teachers should tap into. There's no question about it. Well, of course, we could talk forever
Yes.
about it. This is such an important topic, and we need more voices, more initiatives, but also really more children, teenagers being more open out there, I think, on education. There needs to be like this massive initiative taken by people who are a part of education. And these are kids, these are parents, and we don't hear voices from them so much. They probably mostly talk among themselves, complaining about education, obviously, right? And there is a lot of problems they need to solve. But if they start looking at some possibilities, these days, right? How you can be out there and you can use different venues and platforms and ways of really making your voices heard. And certainly Zoraib has taken advantage of that with your wonderful help. I'm really so honored to have you today on the chat. Before we part, I would like you to tell the audience where we can follow you on social media, how audience can connect with you. I just wanted to show Ambreen's book too. It's The Algorithm of Life, and it's a fabulous book. It's not so about education, psychology, but this book can help every parent, every teacher. That's how it connects to education, right? So tell us where audience can follow you, connect with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for actually
You're
sharing
welcome.
that book. Yeah, I'm very much active on LinkedIn, but I'm pretty much everywhere on social media, like Facebook, Substack, Twitter, YouTube. So even on the podcast, like Apple,
Yeah.
all these things. So I think I'm very easy to find, and they can contact me on social media, so anywhere. So I think I'm very much easy to easy to find.
And I know that exactly. And I know that Zorab has its own account that you run, right? Or you run
Yeah.
together on
Yeah.
Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah, basically I run. So on social media, basically kids do not, either even he doesn't have interest on Insta or
Yeah.
something. But the thing is that I do discuss that, okay, this is something that I post, and you should know that. And that's exactly his voice also. I
Yeah.
show them that, this is how it is. And whatever is in line with this book, very difficult to manage so many accounts. So I don't post so regularly on his account.
Yes, it is. I can feel that. Definitely. Um, exactly. But I will be also sharing any links like to your platforms, to your accounts. If you could share with me after this or whenever you get a chance, so then when I publish, I can just include all of this in the show notes. Thank you so much for today. I think that we have covered quite a bit about education, what's wrong with this, and if there are any ways of improving it. And I think there are ways, and maybe not that even hard, but we need a little bit more willingness from not just teachers, but systems and administrators, right? Because it's all working together. But we need more advocacy from parents and from children because they are
Yeah.
part of the education. And they shouldn't be waiting until someone else asks them what you think about it. They should be finding ways of being heard out there. And there is an example how this can be done because you two have done it.
Yes, I think we need more voices, and I think that's the reason why. And thank you for having us on the podcast. I think this is the way we can
Welcome.
actually show to the world that they can use their voices, that how we need change in the education system.
Exactly. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to add, dear young author and blogger?
Yes, Zoraib, what do you want to say? Last word?
I guess like finding a talent like would be is very hard since you can't force them. Like if you force anybody to do something, they will not find any talent in it.
Yeah.
Even if they like even if like they forgot about that and then try again, they might find that they like it. But
Yeah.
that then the fact that they have to like leave something, like leave some of their time to like because they didn't want to, they left some of their time and they didn't want to do something, they simply will not do it well or not do it at all.
Yeah. So the pressure it shouldn't be there on to find the talent or
Right.
thing. It should come naturally. Yeah.
Exactly. And encouragement from the parents also should be natural. It cannot
Yes.
be in the way of, well, do it, because as we know, it just will not work. Exactly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was just absolutely fabulous. And thank you, our audience. Please make sure to follow the show, Get Inspired with Dr. Barb. Connect with us, write some comments, let us know what you think about this. I think that this was quite an impactful episode, and I'm just so happy to be able to have Ambreen and Zoraib, her son, and it was absolutely fabulous. So see you on social media and let us know what you think. We can't wait.
So much.
You're welcome. This is Get Inspired